So that's our declaration of 10 orders. We carefully crafted these to tie into American history, because history is repeating itself. Much of the causes of the revolution are happening again, and also the history of the 20th century with the death camps and mass internment, and what we see happening today. It all flows together. So do you want to go down through the 10 orders? Or
yeah, let's do that in the next segment. And if you can stay 5 minutes in the next hour that our next guest is coming on, I want to invite you back routinely. I know you're a busy guy, but you need to talk to Ted Anderson, maybe get a Genesis radio show or something. You're very, very eloquent. And when we come back, we'll go over the 10 points. But what I like is that, that huge Ron Paul revolution, at first people were like, oh, it went nowhere. And I said, no, it's a delayed explosion, like at Force 10 Navarone when they bombed the dam, and they're like, where is it? And he just said, just sitting there smoking a pipe. Just wait a moment. That's how, and then suddenly it starts breaking, boom, and now we're seeing that, and people realize they can defeat the enemy in the info war, and now they're just blasting, they're picking up arms in the revolution of the mind. People are taking the red pills, they're waking up, and I'm seeing people like you from the Ron Paul campaign and others disperse out and start your own operation. Riders on the storm, you're riding the storm, folks. Storm of liberty.
Riders on the storm.
When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against it. Be part of that standard. Get involved in the info war today.
Like a dog with
enlist in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and Liberty. Targets of opportunity. Wake up those in your area. Get the Obama Deception on DVD in super high quality. This is the way to have it. Make copies of this. Get it out. Download it in DivX format at prisonplanet.tv. Support us here. Support others. Let your children play.
Let your children play.
If you give this man a ride, folks.
If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die.
Don't give this man a ride. Barack Obama, the front man of the New World Order, the tip of the spear in their war against humanity. Wake up to them. Realize the true depths of their wickedness. Their attack on every basic liberty. It's over the top. I'm sure you heard, sir, Stewart Rhodes with Oath Keepers, oath-keepers.blogspot.com, that the House has passed the forced conscription of the American people bill. And I happen to have the Army code that the Pentagon has issued saying it will be forced military service. I mean, the hour is late.
It is. But that's okay. It's darkest before the dawn. And so I think it's pretty clear that we're going to stand tall. That's why we bumped up our program. We were going to do a regular site, but we saw that things were happening. In fact, I called Colonel Hapgood, also of the Iowa National Guard, and he lied to me like he lied to you. They have a dedicated MOUT facility 80 miles north of that town they're going to do their exercise in, and he just flat lied to us. And so that's one thing that got us hopping mad and decided to put it up on Blogspot first. One thing I do want to say, I want to let folks know that I write for SWAT Magazine, and I want to make it clear that that's a magazine that's most people think it's just for law enforcement. It's not. And the gentlemen who run that magazine are dedicated patriots, and they're going to give Oath Keepers free ad space. So I encourage folks to check out SWAT Magazine, run by true patriots. So that's my plug for them.
No, yeah, give out the website, because no, that's good. We have to take the high ground here.
That's right. Yeah, you betcha. And their mission has always been, that's why they asked me to write that column. They used to have Claire Wolfe write it. You know who Claire Wolfe is, correct?
Yes.
Right. She used to write the Enemy at the Gate column, and then she asked me to take it over when she got going to burn out. But their mission is to make sure that there's the separation between law enforcement and the people is broken down. They don't believe there should be that separation. And so Rich Lucibello, the man that owns SWAT, has stood up and dedicated that entire column every month to the mission of defending the Bill of Rights.
Well, we knew this would come. When the New World Order emerged and admitted everything we've been warning people about, that's why I said, even if we get laughed at, tell people the documents, tell them the truth, because when they finally emerge, when they make their big move, which is now happening, then people would have been warned, and then they would wake up. But also, as the police and military are being twisted in their mission now to carry out globalism, that would be the big wake-up call there. I think the enemy trying to program them right now is waking police and military up faster than even the patriots.
Absolutely, and of course Obama is acting like a complete fool with what he did with the veterans and forcing them to pay for their own medical care. It's just a huge blunder. It just shows the arrogance,
the hubris.
Oh yeah, and so the anger and outrage. They're blind. They can't see certain things. They're almost autistic in some ways.
All right, we're about to break, and we only have like 5. Yeah, they're delusional. We're about to break, but start with the 10 points.
You betcha. Well, the 10 points are just what we think are the most likely hot points and tripwires, and what we think officers should be considering, and soldiers, as the lines in the sand they will not cross. Number one is we will not obey any order to disarm the American people. And that was that was the cause of the first American Revolution. That was the final spark.
Lexington and Concord, continue. Number two.
Number two, we will not obey orders to conduct warrantless searches of the American people. And there again, the writs of assistance, warrantless searches were one of the causes of the American Revolution. And number three is we will not obey orders to detain American citizens as unlawful enemy combatants or to subject them to the military tribunal.
Stay there. We've got to come back in 70 seconds. He has spurred so many thoughts in me, my instincts, who our ancestors were, everything, that I've added quite a bit today. I want to have him back up in the next few weeks for a full hour to talk more about Oath Keepers and take your phone calls. He's an amazing individual, Stewart Rhodes. There's so many great people that are out there prominently fighting the globalists. We just commend them. Run through the other 8 points in the 5 minutes we have left, sir.
You betcha. The other ones are we will not obey orders to impose martial law on a state or a state of emergency on a state. And 5 is we will not obey orders to invade, subjugate any state that asserts its sovereignty. And that's kind of a reflection on the initiatives that have come out recently where states are standing up and saying, we're going to interpose ourselves between the federal government and our own people.
And that was an issue back in the 1770s because they would remove governors or legislatures and put in puppets. But go ahead.
Exactly. And number 6 is we will not obey any order to blockade American cities, thus turning them into giant concentration camps. And that was first done in Boston at the time of the American Revolution. As you just said, Boston was put under military dictatorship with General Gage, and then when the fighting started, the people of Boston were told, if you turn in your guns, we'll give you safe passage out of the city. And they turned their guns in, and then they were told they could not leave. And they were kept there, and it was turned into a concentration camp until the militia showed up and kicked the British out of Boston. So number 7 is we will not obey any order to force American citizens into any form of detention camps under any pretext. And we cite the history, an unfortunate history of the Japanese internment here at home, and also the history around the world of oppressive governments. When they make war on their own people, they put them into camps. And in part, that's done they put women and children into camps so that the men who are fighting will turn themselves in on behalf of their children and women.
And the schools, public schools, admit they've been drilling to grab kids without asking on FEMA buses and then tell parents to report. So tyranny does the same thing over and over again. Continue.
That's right. Number 8, we will not obey orders to assist or support the use of any foreign troops on U.S. soil against the American people to keep the peace or to maintain control. And as you know, you've been hearing rumors of this for decades, but we're now hearing the same rumors once again from very credible sources that the Obama administration is even considering bringing in foreign troops.
No.
In the event of an
The
economic
agreements
collapse.
have been signed. Toronto Star, Canadian, Mexican troops to be used, I-4 troops to be used. Those are not rumors. I have hundreds of mainstream articles if you'd like them.
Absolutely. Email them to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go right ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's just that, I've had Colonel Craig Roberts and others on who have had like their nephews at West Point, and they send in famous generals to tell them we're going to use foreign troops, but it's a good thing. So no, that is going on. That's not a rumor.
Oh, I know. I just like to hedge my bets with people.
Well, no, I mean, it's true they're planning it. The rumor is they may bring them in. I see what you're saying. Go ahead.
Right, exactly. We will not obey any orders to confiscate the property of the American people, including food and other essential supplies. That's number 9.
That's in the public executive orders. They're planning that, so that's public.
That's right. Yep. We will not obey any orders which infringe on the right of the people to free speech, peaceably assemble, and petition their government for redress grievances. I mean, all these are basic. They should be common sense, no-brainers. But unfortunately, as you know, you have to remind people of the basics sometimes. We can't take it for granted that someone's going to be thinking about this stuff ahead of time. Look at Katrina. We're hearing now that a lot of that was caused because those guard troops and those officers hadn't thought about it ahead of time, and they're kind of like caught flat-footed when they were told to go do these things. And so we want them to think about it in advance. And we don't think it's going to go down the same way again. That's
right. Iowa was a gun confiscation drill. That's admitted. And then they sent out 22 MPs and a colonel to the Alabama shooting, and now they're looking at charges of posse comitatus violation.
That's right. That's a good sign. It's a good sign that within the military there's still people who understand the necessary wall of separation between civil and military power, and take it serious. So
yeah.
we're very confident. We feel very good about this. One thing I do want to ask your listeners to do, we are going to be doing a tribute video to men who served, and so we'd like to have them send us in photos of those who served when they were young, all the old photos of them and their buddies, and who they were and where they served. Email them to us, and we'll put them in our tribute video.
Absolutely. Stay there. I want to say one last point when we get back of how the enemy's going to attack your key operation. Then we've got our next guest on. Go ahead and get our next guest up. Stay there for 2 more minutes on the other side. We'll get to our next guest. Stay with us. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com.